Shin Godzilla, basically a worse version of Destroya in almost every single way, with him having the ability to adapt to different environments and attacks. Legendary Godzilla, on the other hand, has shown to be one of the strongest Godzillas, having an atomic breath powerful enough to dig into the earth, and being extremely agile. Also, just to clear things up, I am only considering the version of Legendary Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Kong, since I am more familiar with his abilities and things shown in the film. So, could Legendary Godzilla survive Shin Godzilla's different forms, as shown in the film? Starting things off is Shin Godzilla's second form. It would be easy for Legendary Godzilla to defeat this form of Shin Godzilla, considering it was barely able to crawl and literally has no arms. Shin Godzilla's third form wouldn't be much different, with it being less than half of Legendary Godzilla's height, at 57 meters. At this stage, Shin Godzilla was shown to not be in control of his internal reactor, with him rushing to the ocean in order to cool his temperature down. Legendary Godzilla's physical attacks would be enough to stop this third form, and his atomic breath could overheat Shin Godzilla's body, causing it to shut down. And now is the main focus of the fight, with Shin Godzilla's fourth form. At this point, Shin Godzilla is able to adapt to attacks, without completely changing his form, and could gain new powers as time went on. Legendary Godzilla, being only a few meters taller than Shin Godzilla, would try to communicate with this strange creature. Being almost emotionless, Shin Godzilla would not respond, showing no hint that he even heard Legendary Godzilla's roar. Monsterverse Godzilla would then charge at Shin Godzilla, knocking him into a nearby building. But under the rubble, a purple glow would appear, and out of the silence, Shin Godzilla's beam would directly hit Legendary Godzilla, knocking him to the ground with a visible scar on his chest. Shin Godzilla would then rise to his feet and continue his attack with another blast of his laser. Legendary Godzilla, fighting through the pain, would respond with his own atomic breath, creating a hole through Shin Godzilla's chest. As a lifeless form of Shin Godzilla falls to the ground, Monsterverse Godzilla would roar and start to walk away. But upon hearing a strange sound, he would turn back to the fallen monster. Rising to his feet, Shin Godzilla would reveal his healing factor to Legendary Godzilla, with his fatal wound being stitched together in a few seconds. Monsterverse Godzilla lets out a roar. Assuming that Shin Godzilla is an alien like Ghidorah, he would charge towards Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla, falling to the ground, would manage to shoot Legendary Godzilla with his laser, but upon rising to his feet with his back to Legendary Godzilla, would lead Monsterverse Godzilla to bite his neck. And as this happens, purple lasers would shoot out of Shin Godzilla's dorsal plates, dazing Legendary Godzilla. Shin Godzilla would then turn around and shoot his laser directly at Legendary Godzilla's face, knocking him to the ground. Showing the first signs of emotion, Shin Godzilla would let out a long roar, only being interrupted by the sound of something charging up. Legendary Godzilla would rise up and shoot Shin Godzilla with his atomic breath at full force, causing Shin Godzilla to bend over in pain. But upon Shin Godzilla having faced Monsterverse Godzilla's atomic breath, it would be less effective this time. Legendary Godzilla, noticing a visible difference in Shin Godzilla's durability and seeing a potential threat, would lead Legendary Godzilla to rush Shin Godzilla again. Shin Godzilla this time would use his laser to hit Legendary Godzilla as he rushes in, but due to his energy running low, it would have little effect. Monsterverse Godzilla would then grab Shin Godzilla's head and shoot his atomic breath into Shin Godzilla, similar to how he destroyed the female Muto. Monsterverse Godzilla would then go back to the ocean, leaving Shin Godzilla's cold remains behind. So could Legendary Godzilla survive Shin Godzilla's evolution? Yes and no. In a direct battle between Shin Godzilla's forms shown in the film, Legendary Godzilla would win every time. But over time, Shin Godzilla could recover from almost any attack Legendary Godzilla could dish out, leading Monsterverse Godzilla to eventually be defeated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.